Hey, everybody, welcome. Just a short clip. This actually came from the end of a webinar presentation. I was literally sitting there having a conversation with one of our top advisors, back and forth, and it just hit me in the head as, this guy is a big fan of Hegna, and we're talking about Hegna, and I'm like, listen, there's a lot of people out there talking about urgency. The clients just aren't urgent enough to make decisions right now. This is it. What a great way. We're talking about the no-go, the slow-go, and the go-go years. And anyway, check it out for yourself. Hopefully it's something you can use in your appointments. Tom Hegna, what does he say? What's his thing?
Tom Hegna's thing?
Yeah, his big thing. Like, what is the main thing he talks about when he talks about, like, when you think Tom Hegna, what do you think about?
Life insurance.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what's his little gimmick? He says, you've got the Baba, and the Baba years.
Oh, you've got the slow-go, the go-go, slow-go, and no-go years.
That's right. That's his main shtick, right?
Oh, yeah?
So, as a producer, you get somebody to start thinking about their retirement years, right? So, the whole idea, this is a little sales concept on how to present to a client that says, I'm going to stay in the market, stay in the ups and downs, stay in the, whatevers, right? Say, okay, you're going to create some urgency now. And the reason why they need to make the move now, not wait down the road, not do with at least a portion of their money to put it into an annuity, fixed indexed annuity with some upsides. We're not saying to take the upside off the table, right? We're saying scale back your aggressive nature in your portfolio or your proclivity for stocks and bonds in your portfolio. And now that you're closer to retirement, it's time to make some actions towards solidifying some of the downside, right?
Yeah.
Reason being this. I say, okay, well, I don't know if you know anything about Tom Hegna, but Tom Hegna, one of the greatest presenters in the life insurance world, always explains retirement in these big three buckets. You don't even have to mention Hegna if you don't want to, but I prefer to give credit where credit's due, that kind of thing, right? You got the go-go years where you're in great health. These are the first years of retirement. Let's say you're going to have a 30-year retirement. We'll split it into three. Tom Hegna says there's three big chunks of retirement. The go-go years, the slow-go years, and the no-go years. What could you guess is going on in the go-go years? You're traveling. You're having a ton of fun. This is the time you're enjoying with your spouse, right? You're playing more golf. You're going fishing. You're going on romantic trips everywhere. You're seeing the grandkids across the country. You're having fun with the grandkids too when you're there, right? You're enjoying every minute of it. Then you enter into the next 10 years of retirement. These are your slow-go years. These slow-go years, they're basically a lot like the go-go years, but you're having a little more trouble getting up. You have a less likelihood that you're really going to travel far. Your health is starting to decline a little bit. Your joints hurt a little bit more, so you're not playing around with the grandkids as much. You're certainly not playing good at golf anymore, right? You're starting to hurt there. You might be playing in a couple league games, but you're really just going there to hang out in the back, drink some beers with the guys. And even that you can't do too much because, again, you're tired and you're slower. And this is happening to most folks. This is the late 70s, early 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then your no-go years. This is the next years. The no-go years, most folks have lost a spouse by this point. That one person in their life that was there for every bit of it. They've lost that spouse.
It's always us guys. We always go first.
Sure.
Realistically.
You've lost your husband. But let's say the other way around. Potentially you lose your wife. Your health is on the decline a lot of times, especially now that you potentially lost a spouse. Right? You're a little more sad, less people to share things with. The need to travel has gone down. You might be in home health care. Your health is probably, your mental capacity isn't where it used to be. You're not running around with the grandkids anymore. A lot of the times the grandkids are grown now. They don't have a lot of time for grandma, grandpa anymore. They're going to college. They're making their own babies. They're doing their own things. Your kids, they're in the peak years of their life. They are busy trying to save for their go-go years. They're trying to get their stuff in a row. These are the times when, again, there's not much to be done in retirement. The problem is this. Too many folks in our position where we're about to go into retirement keep themselves too exposed to these ups and downs in the market, something bad happens in the last 5 years of retirement. And they had, let's say they had this number in their mind, some arbitrary number. I need $2 million in my retirement, and I'm going at 65. Man, I'm gone. Well, all of a sudden, the market goes down in the last 5 years. You lose 25% of that, and now you got to spend the next 5 years earning it back, and you're still not at the $2 million number you wanted. So you kick the can down the road in your retirement for another 2 years because you got too aggressive with your account. What did you just lose? You just lost 2 years of not the no-go years, not the slow-go years. You just lost 2 of your go-go years.
And you kind of hit this on the head last time. I think we had a webinar the other day that you said this, is you get so hung up on the number and not on the time that you're losing.
Yes.
Right? Just because you're not listening to somebody saying, hey, you have the ability to do it right now.
You have the opportunity to lock in the dreams of an age. Stop getting locked in on the number. It's about your ability to go as soon as you can and enjoy the go-go years.
Yeah, foregoing that number, right, is going to give you the freedom that you are going to miss if you're just focusing on, I got to get to 2 million. I got to get to 2 million. But realistically, you could be just as happy with that 1.5 or 1.7.
But if you had just had a plan in place that said, hey, you can enjoy your retirement, all the things you wanted right now, and you didn't have to have this arbitrary number just so that you potentially could increase lifestyle and retirement because you were more exposed to risk? Yeah. In the same right, you could be losing go-go years. But how many go-go years are you willing to give up for this arbitrary number?
Mm-hmm. You have to break past what we've all been conditioned for our whole lives, is like set to a goal, and once you reach it, then it's just like you're not looking at the fine print, right?
Yeah. I lost 20% right now. We're getting that a lot right now. Mm-hmm. I lost 20% in the market. I lost 20% in the market. It's like, well, do you think they're at the floor right now? No. Then there's a number. Then there is a reason to secure some of this safety. Because if you think you're going to go further down, then all you're doing is robbing yourself of time to make this back up, because you're going to say that I can't retire until I've made that up. If we put a plan together right now, potentially you can still retire even less than 20%, or set a plan to still recover the 20% you already lost, but still not secure any further losses in your portfolio that would allow you, or that would potentially would gobble up more of your go-go years.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not trying to hang on to the no-go years. I promise you, I am not here trying to hang on to the go-go years or no-go years. And that's what oftentimes too many people are thinking about when they think about this arbitrary number of the $2 billion freaking dollars they need to retire when they lost 20% of the $2 billion, right? Or $2 million. I lost 20% of it. I can't retire now at 65. It's like, no, you need, now more than ever, you need a plan to secure against downside so that you are preserving that 65 number more than ever. In fact, you should have done it before. We're not in that position now, and we're certainly not going to accept that we're just going to wait longer to start going into our retirement years. No, that shouldn't be the case.
So what is your game plan for an advisor out there that is, you're going into somebody's, they're approaching 60 years old, right? And now they're at their go-go year. I mean, that's when they're realistically going to be reaching their go-go years, is when they can start traveling.
It at 60.
Yeah, but I mean, they should be having someone, go over that with them. Like what to expect is like, are you planning for your go-go or your no-go years?
Well, that's what I'm saying is like they are saving, they are so concerned with some number that they're willing to wait it out a little bit longer in the market, delay retirement potentially, and lose go-go years because they need a certain amount of money to ensure a lifestyle for the length of the no-go years?
I think it's kind of funny because I mean, through the years, I've been able to watch a lot of these reports come in, and it seems like a lot of people they're planning their retirement around one pillar, right, on their retirement. And you could probably, it's Social Security, right? They're like, okay, well, I can start collecting, I have to start collecting at 70, and I'll get the most amount out of that, so maybe I should retire 67 to 70 years old. Do you think that is the idea behind that? Is like that they're
I think
upon that?
I think folks just say, oh, Social Security is going to kick in at 62, so I should try to retire at 62. I don't disagree. The other thing that's discounted a lot, I don't have any disagreement with 62 might be the right number for folks. Should you turn Social Security on for 62? I don't know. Maybe. Everybody's situation is a little bit different. But I will say this. Just because human life expectancy is kicked out to 86 now, or it used to be in the 70s back when in 1949, whatever our Social Security presentation says, doesn't necessarily mean that those years that we're gaining on the back end in the no-go years, because that's really what you're gaining, years of life down the road. Not these extra years that we've gained over the last couple decades in life expectancy don't necessarily mean those extra years are of good quality life, right?
It's true.
And so too many people planning based on, I should wait because people are living longer. No, you just need to have a better plan in place. And you certainly should be being more responsible with retirement dollars. Be as aggressive as you want with your paychecks, right? That's what another Tom Hegna-ism, paychecks and paychecks, right?
Oh, yeah.
But my paycheck money in retirement, my retirement money that's going to be there for me to support myself, to guarantee a foundation, that money I'm not playing with. I'm not playing. I should have been taking that money off the table every time I made my money back in the market. I should have been taking that money off the table and playing with house money more and more and more. And people don't do that. And then they insist that they're going to keep doing it all the way through retirement because, Kramer on CNBC is telling them that they should. And it's silly. There's a reason the Secure Act is pushing so hard to get fixed indexed annuities into a distribution option of 401k plans. They know annuities are necessary with the lack of pensions existing out there.
Yeah.
And so folks need to recognize that the things they're giving up by being exposed too much in the ups and downs and the risks of a risky portfolio are your go-go years. Because guess what? You can't go back to work at age 86. Well, you can, but you're certainly not going to be making the money you're going to be making now. So what's the idea? I'll just work a couple more years. I'm in good health. I don't really need to retire now. It's like, no, those are the years for your spouse and you to have fun.
Mm-hmm. This is what you've been working for.
You worked that long for that, and your younger self would be disappointed in you.
Yeah.
That's a shame. And more advisors need to start telling that tale to their clients that are a little indecisive, aren't ready to make the decision now. They need to see those first 2 years of retirement disappearing. What would you do in the first 2 years of retirement? You'd have the ball of your life, right?
Traveling, going.
What if the 2 years that you
sacrificed
sacrificed to go work, what if you injured your hip in those 2 years? Needed hip surgery. And then the first 2 years of your retirement ended up being you strapped to a bed doing rehab and
Guaranteed
not
that's
able
not
to
what
travel,
yeah.
not able to sit on a flight across the Atlantic because you had hip surgery.
Yeah, guaranteed that wasn't what you were planning for as you were working.
No. You'd be shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Just had this conversation with my father. Just had the exact same conversation. It's time to go, dude.
Yeah.
You're missing those years, right?
It's true.
So, anyway, good food for thought for anybody watching.
Great idea.